That's better. Let's have a look at the Triumph cylinder head. Well, here we are again, back in the log cabin. We haven't been in here working for about a year now, so it's a little bit cold. We've put the heater on, as you saw, and it's I think it was down to -2 outside, so it's a little bit warmer in here, plus we've got the protection anyway. Well, here we are. I've got the Triumph cylinder head here, as you know, and I've obviously got to strip it down, and I'm going to replace gaskets and all that, so I will be taking things like the inlet manifold off, also the thermostat housing, as the new top-end gasket set comes with all them. So as I've got it off, I'm going to replace all them, and if you remember, I did actually replace them last time, but I actually had to make the inlet manifold ones because I couldn't find them anywhere. So that's what we're going to do there. What I'm going to do now anyway is strip off most of the cylinder head as far as I can and get to the stage where I need a special tool like the valve spring compressor, and I can also clean up the mating surfaces from underneath as well. I'm going to put you on a time-lapse camera now, so I'm going to let you see me just quickly zoom through this and strip down as much as I possibly can, and then we'll have another look and see where we go from there. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, as you can see now, the temperature's come up to 20 degrees, and it did get a little bit hot in here, as you know, because yet again this thing gave me some problems, as you probably saw there on the time lapse. I don't know whether you called it or not, but the two bolts that held the end of the rocker assembly on, they were Phillips screws, and that's where the rev counter cable connects. They would not undo, and I didn't want to chew the heads up to them, so as you saw, I had to apply heat. I had to give them a few knocks. I had to clamp the vice down because the head kept spinning on the work. So all these little things you sort of come up against, but I got there in the end, and I got the screws out with a bigger blowtorch. So that's how I actually got over it. So the head's basically stripped down as much as I can really do at the moment, but I'll just show you how bad this head actually is. Come and have a closer look. Well, probably, as you can see here, this is the underside of the head. This is the head, the part for the that makes contact with the gasket, and as you can probably see here, the gasket in places. Now, I don't know whether you can actually see these waterways here. Look at this, look. Now, don't forget, I put the solution of vinegar in here, but I'm going to obviously have to do something else in there because this head is totally crammed up. And all I'm hoping is that once I've cleaned it all out, that there isn't any warpage. But I've got a hell of a lot of work to do here with regards to cleaning out these waterways and stuff like that. As you can see, most of them are exactly the same. So, I mean, there's no way would any cleaning solution get through this. So, this head realistically had to come off. And it's going to have to be manually dug out. So, this just shows you the sort of thing that can be inside an old classic car. So, if you're in the market of buying an old classic car, you can't actually guarantee, especially if it's been laid up. This one's been laid up for many years. Several, in fact. So, and although it started first time when I brought it and run, I never actually drove the car, as you know, but it's been standing for 7 years, and before the 7 years it wasn't actually used a lot at all, so it only done sort of short local journeys because I did know the previous owner. But as you can see here, this is going to take a hell of a lot of work to clean this head out, so too much for this video. So, and exactly the same if I turn the head over there, but you can probably see there, slightly off subject, The actual mixture in the carburation, by the colour of the valves, is actually lovely, nice light brown in colour, so that's why it was actually running absolutely nice. The this one tends to be a little bit more oily, and as I say, I think that's personally due to the gasket fouling. As you can see, the gasket's in a real terrible state. It's probably never ever been off. Although this is a relatively low mileage car, it's only done about 50 or 60,000 miles, if I remember rightly, off the top of my head. So, and that would have been genuine as well, as I say. So it just shows you, if a car's not been maintained correctly or neglected, this may or may not have had the proper antifreeze in all the time. It might have just been topped up with water. So it just shows you the imperativeness of proper maintenance, especially with a classic car. And don't be fooled to thinking that if a car's been standing for many, many years and it hasn't started, you really should be stripping it down and checking things like this, because it can run perfectly, but if I would have drove this for any length of time, it would have actually failed and I could have caused big catastrophes. So yeah, just be careful. But let's just turn over and have a look at the other side as well. Now, everything on this side looks pretty much okay. These are the things you've got to watch out for and all. These are the actual bearings that the camshaft runs in, and these are the oil feed channels there, so you've got to make sure these are very, very clean. As you can see there, these little slots here sort of feed the bearing, and if they've got crap in them or rubbish, then you could obviously have a bearing running dry and then obviously seize up. So you want to make sure they're all clean. Now I need to get the valves off, and to do that I've got to release these valve springs by compressing these valves and releasing the little collets underneath, pulling the valve springs on, and then on that shaft there, which is the actual valve itself, the valve stem, where it enters the cylinder head, there'll be a rubber seal in there. You can't actually see it, I don't think, in here. And that's one thing I didn't realise as well. These Triumphs had double valve springs. I don't know whether you can see that or not in there, can you? Just like the Mini Coopers, they had double valve springs as well. These have got them as well, so I didn't know that. But under both springs, when you take them both springs out of there, there'll be a little rubber seal, and that's what needs changing as well. The sort of symptom they get when you get the valve spring, the valve oil seal go, is that cars can puff out a load of blue smoke on startup. And although this didn't have that problem, it will be prudent of me to change these while I've got this head down to this stage, because they are a rubber seal. They're obviously years and years old, and bearing in mind the condition of the other rubber seals and gaskets and stuff like that, I'll be foolish not to change them, especially as I've got them in the cylinder head gasket kit as well. So, right, so I've given everything a good clean out now, and I've dug them waterways out as much as I can. And there was so much crap in there, and I've also got the airline and blown through the airlines and blown all the crap out of there. So as you can probably see there now, all the waterways are at least nice and clear now compared to what they was. All these, literally, you couldn't see all these waterways. Now I'm going to probably end up lapping the valves in anyway, so it's just a thing just to check as well. And I've given this gasket face here now a good scrape down. We've removed all the gasket, but I'm not 100% too happy with it. I've not actually checked it for trueness, but as you can see, there is some eating into the actual surface there, and I'm just going to get it skimmed anyway. I'm not going to mess about, so I'm going to get an engineering company to do the skimming for me, but that involves me taking the valves out now, which I've got to do anyway. So for that, I'm going to need to get these valves off, and I'm going to do that right now. Sometimes you have to give them a little tap first, just to get them going. Let's just pull it off for a minute. Just to free the collets off. Right, okay then, let's try this again. Let's get the valve spring compressor out of the way. Make that up there. Right, there we go. So I've just got this bit of card here. And because all the valves wear in different ways, I'm just going to place them back in their original location. So as I pull them out now, I can just push them through into the hole in the card. There we go. I'll have a look at them and inspect them a bit later. So let's put these to one side. So I just want to keep all these bits together, so I'll put all the valve springs and stuff together. As I say, you don't want to start losing stuff like this. And keeping everything together is obviously the order of the day. That and the little collets. So I've just got to take off the valve stem oil seal now and the bottom of the spring retainers, and then the head is ready to go to the engineering shop. It's going to cost about 50 quid, I suppose, to get this done, so you know, it's a worthwhile job. It's got to be done. So right, I'll put that to one side, and let's just remove these little valves. I'll show you these are the valve stem oil seals. So as you can see, these are the little valve stem oil seals. You can normally just lever them off. There we go. And if your engine starts up in the morning with plenty of smoke, it's normally these things that have gone, your valve stem oil seals. So I'm just going to whip all these off. Then you've got the base plates to take off there as well, as you can see. And I'm just going to zip along now, take all these off, and then I'll come back to you in a second. So there you go. Hopefully next time we see this head, it will be in a lot better condition, and then I'll probably have to, well, I will be lapping in these heads as well, these valve guides as well. So anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this little video. So hopefully in the next video, when this comes back from the shop, we'll have all the other pieces clean. We'll have the head assembled, ready to go back in the car. So thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to tune in to the next video as well. Thanks very much. Bye for now.